All right, we're in our second part of Thomas Allen and the turkey hunting overview. We're talking land access, how to hunt birds, and more importantly, turkey gear.
Hey, I'm KJ, dedicated lifelong hunter here. If you got an interest in all things hunting, you're in the right spot. Whether chasing quail across the plains of Oklahoma or in pursuit of elk in the backcountry of British Columbia, you'll always find me on the hunt.
All right, we're back for round two with Mr. Thomas Allen. Welcome in all you Gun Talk hunters. I am your host, KJ. Thomas Allen and I have been going back and forth a little bit on turkey hunting. Where we left off is we were kind of talking about some properties that he lost access to. And this is the debate we're going to get into right now because I think it's important. Now, the debate for you, Thomas, is you got some other hunting properties. If you find yourself successful again, do you put it all out there and you risk it and you tell the landowner, hey, thank you, I had a great hunt. Here's some meat. We were very successful. Here's a picture. Because I know that's stuff that you do, and that's important to the landowner to know that you are taking care of the land and you are doing good on it, doing good by them and being a good steward of the property, their property. And so if you find success again, are you going to tell them?
Yes, without a doubt, without hesitation. And here's why. I love to shoot turkeys. I love watching my kids do it. But one of my favorite things in this world, especially the industry we work in, is the people we get to meet. And
Yeah.
I've made some good friends that I turkey hunt on their property. And I think I'd say 2 or 3 of them we swap Christmas cards now. And
Yeah.
I might have talked about this with you one time, but one of the properties that we have access to, this lady, I'll leave them unnamed. I was actually leaving to go to ICAST, I think, and she called me crying. I don't know why she called me, but it must have been pre-turkey season, so it wasn't ICAST. I was flying out somewhere, and I had about a minute and a half, and she had told me that she found her husband had committed suicide in the garage.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, I'm going to have my wife call, to see if we can do anything to help. And Catherine did indeed call and kind of helped line up some people. I mean, the police and the body had already been removed, but
Yeah.
Is there anything that we can do? And I think that we stopped by 5 or 6 times after turkey season just to sit on our couch and talk. Catherine made her a loaf of bread. And, I don't know why she decided to call me. She said she wanted to make sure that I knew we could still hunt. And I'm like, a
That's the
turkey's a
last
small thing. Yeah. And I said, we could never hunt out here again and I'd still be at your house. Like, I want to be that guy, but on the flip side, there's an alternative to the scenario you laid out. And part of that is if I don't tell the dude I was successful or the landowner I was successful, they're going to wonder why I keep asking. And they're going to start saying yes to letting other people out there. And that's really what happens is you see a truck parked somewhere, you see a blind set up, you see decoys out, you see a couple walking out with a turkey over their shoulder, and that starts enlightening people to, oh, there are birds there. I'm going to go ask. And then what happens is it gets vindictive. And these other hunters, they think they can out permission me. Will go ask, and if they have a relationship with the landowner, that puts me out in the street like that. So
Right. Yeah.
it's frustrating, but yes, every single time I'm going to communicate with those landowners afterwards, let them know how thankful I am. They're going to get a picture, they're going to get meat, whatever it is they want. If they need me to come dig their house out after a snowstorm, we're there. So that's the right thing to do, and that's how I'm going to do it.
It is the right thing to do, and I knew you were going to say that. Like, our audience needs to know what kind of good guy you are, man. But when my grandparents were alive, they had an absolutely just gem of a property. And for turkeys, it was probably one of the best. I would say it was one of the best probably in the county in Oklahoma, one of, our small county in Oklahoma. And, man, a guy had driven by, he saw it was just a hammer of a bird, just something that'll make you, put the brakes on. And boy, he runs up there, he runs up to the house, says, hey, there's a bird in your south field, and I just really want to hunt it. And she said no. Well, he chose the wrong path, and I mean, he got irate. irate, and that was the wrong thing to do around my grandmother. So she set him right. But man, he completely burned that bridge, and
It's easy to do. And
it is.
Kevin, it's frustrating to hear no.
Oh, I know. Especially now it is. It's frustrating now when you go up to a property and they tell you no, and it's like, okay. I mean, I get it. I mean, that's their property. They may have kids hunting it. They may have grandkids hunting it. But man, there's right ways to do it. And you and I have covered it on this podcast before on how you do it and how professional you do it. And it makes a lasting memory on someone when they give you permission. Like it lasts.
But you got to keep going. If you love the sport, if you love the opportunities and memories, all that stuff that's so important to us as dads and outdoorsmen, I'm going to lose access to a property. You know what? I've got a 16-year-old son with a pickup. He's out looking for turkeys.
Yep.
So
he is.
We're going to keep going. And, you know, I think I'll probably get back 75% of what we had last year, which is all good dirt. Yeah. It's just part of it too, is I'm not going to be able to take as many people as I normally have. And I actually told Catherine this year, last year we shot 14 birds. And that's my brother-in-law. That's a buddy from Wisconsin. That's my father-in-law. You know, there's people that have come to hunt with us. And I love those memories. Won't trade them, but I just think this year it's going to get toned back probably by half.
Well, some years it's that needs to happen.
You're right. That's where we're at. Kids are getting older. Taylor is super not into bad weather. So
yeah. Well, that opens up some days because there are bad weather turkey hunting days. You know, we're going through the same thing with our hunting property in Oklahoma for whitetails. Like this year, man, I'll be honest with you. I saw a lot of big bucks early, and I thought, man, this is going to be an unbelievable year. I didn't see a mature buck all deer season, and I was out there a bunch, and there's just nothing. There was nothing out there. I blanked this year, but the big bucks weren't there, and so now we're rethinking. Like, well, should we cut back and we maybe not take? Maybe we don't. Maybe we take more does next year and less bucks. You know, so it's just tough, and you've got to manage your time and your properties as best you can.
But if you're not going to hunt it as much, you're going to find something else to do.
Oh yeah,
that's probably hunting oriented. You're going to find a way to get some meat put in your freezer. Right? That's the whole point of this. Like, things are ebbing and flowing. Now we've had a super warm winter. I mean, we've had, I think, the warmest winter in 100 years. Ice is off the lakes in Minnesota. I think we got 5 or 6 inches of snow. It's been unbelievable, which was good because last year we had a super bad winter. It snowed 12 to 18 inches into April. Brutal.
Oh my gosh.
But
jeez.
In fact, it stayed cold through the end of April and started to warm up in May. We had ice on lakes in May.
Wow.
So we needed this year, and I think that it's going to help a lot of things, the turkeys especially, but our whitetails I think were decimated last year.
I bet fawn development.
Well, that's right. It's hard. I saw, I think when running cameras last year, just a handful, and maybe like to the tune of 5 or less does with twins. And I saw a lot of dry does. So there's also a growing wolf problem in Minnesota. It's a contributing factor. That's a whole nother show we should do sometime. But
I'm all for it. I'm all for
shoot them all.
That's the problem is, man, now with the GPS collars and the tracking systems that they've got on them, man, I don't know how you shoot one now and get away with it. And I'm not condoning it and shoot, but if it's in defense of your wild or your livestock or your property or something like that, absolutely take care of that wolf. But man, they are eating machines.
Yeah. But
and they will
so
run.
People.
Yeah. They'll run whitetails ragged and they'll kill everything in the countryside.
They will, and I think that it's a contributing factor to our declining population. This is the next thing I really want to talk to you about with turkeys. But so our whitetails are at an all-time low. We had the lowest harvest rate, I think, since the early 2000 or 90s. It was 22% down off the average.
No kidding.
I mean, real bad. So wolves, check. Yep, absolutely a problem. Bad winter, check. Yep, a contributing factor. But we've also been able to get 3 and 5 tags all over the place. And the way that the DNRs across the country manage CWD is an absolute joke. I'll go on the record and say that. This kill 'em all mentality is not the right way to do things. And so here we are. We're in a self-made situation where there are contributing factors, and that's the way it goes. Now, I'm going to tell you something that kind of astonished me, Kevin. I was trying to set up some traveling hunts this year, striking out everywhere because outfitters are no longer interested in trading hunts for coverage. I've learned that. That used to be a thing. I do some video work, or I write a story. There's nobody even calls you back if you're talking about that kind of thing. So that's changed. Turkey populations have dramatically changed. Nebraska used to be a 3-bird state, and it's been a couple years now, but it's now a 2-bird state. This year, Kansas went to a non-resident lottery, so you had to get your application in for a turkey, which is surprising. Kansas is full of birds, from what I remember. Oklahoma, I called Josh Ward. I said, "Who do you know?" He's like, "Nobody. Nobody's got birds." Totally forgetting the guy I hunted with down there. You know who he is. He's a former Bassmaster Elite Series pro. Who?
I bet you I can get you some birds in Oklahoma.
Well, we could talk about that sometime, but I had a friend that let us hunt on his property and just outside of Norman, and it was great. Saw a lot of turkeys. He said he has not seen a turkey on his place for 2 years.
Was that Puckett?
Jared Miller.
Oh,
Jared Miller. You remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I talk to him quite often, actually.
Yeah. He's super willing to let me go. He's like, "Yeah, come on, you can hunt it, but I haven't seen a turkey."
That's nuts.
So
what do we do? So how do you reverse this course? I mean, it seems like it's because I know out in Oklahoma where we are, man, I haven't seen a bird grace our property in 6 years, something like that. So
I think some of the Great Plains states, I think it's a combination of a couple really rough winters and overharvest.
Yeah. So
Jeremy said that there was some bird flu that may have got them, in Iowa. Iowa's down big time. So really? I don't know. I think we probably need to reduce the harvest. That's really what we can manage, something we can control. So collectively we should reduce our harvest.
Yeah. I mean,
kind of a bummer if you're used to killing a couple, but.
Oh, I know, but that means you just get to hunt more states. Within
if you can get into hunting.
Are you hunting any new states this year?
Yeah. So I'm back here in Mississippi. That's where I'm at right now. This is the third time I've been here. I still haven't killed a turkey yet. So do have one showing up on camera. So fingers crossed.
There's birds in the area.
Yeah. So I got options. And then my dad and I are going to hunt Illinois. I've never hunted Illinois. My dad is mostly retired, and a lot of his roofing contractors live in Illinois. He had like 3/4 of that state was his territory. And he's never really wanted me to reach out and hunt with any of them because he's, he doesn't want to seem like he's taking advantage of relationships that way. But you and I know, like, that'd be a great way to nurture a relationship. Well, I finally talked him into it.
Yeah.
And so we're going to hunt Fulton County in Illinois this year. We got tags here about a week ago. So
congratulations.
I got those on the books. Cool. I possible to slip in Missouri, but I don't see how I'm going to do it. I just got too much on my calendar, but
right, man. So any new turkey gear that you've bought this year that you couldn't live without?
Not really. In fact, here's a tip for you. Speaking of turkey gear, I drove down to Venice, and when we were getting into Venice, it was a torrential downpour. Mm-hmm. I mean, rained a lot, and I had my hunting clothes bag inside the back of the truck with a topper on it. And I just found out today that all that crap's soaking wet.
Oh,
and it smells terrible. So I have I have mildewy clothes sitting out on a couch in the cabin here. I got the fans going. It's just the way it's going to go.
Air out outside, sweltering.
I probably should. Actually, that's a good idea. But dude, it's so humid out there. I don't know how you deal with this humidity.
I don't either. Trust me, I don't know either. I escaped to the north
that's
somewhere.
The thing for you. Like if you're gonna go anywhere, taking an extra day on the front side of a hunt is huge, and it's to scout or to dry your clothes out or to do whatever. There's always a need for extra time. I've got the boat here parked up the hill. I've got to finish putting rods away and kind of get it prepped for the trip back home to Minnesota. But that extra day kind of allows you to correct your mistakes. But as far as gear goes, not particularly. Actually, and this is something that traditional turkey hunters would like to have my head on a plate for. I'm trying out a different chair for the blind.
Okay, what chair are you going with?
I don't know the brand name.
Like a Lazy Boy?
I actually might bring in a love seat, folds out.
Take a nap on it.
Listen, if a guy's got, I'll just put the thermocell on, let her eat, and stay out there all night.
Yeah.
Instead of those classic camp chairs that kind of, collapse together, I'm trying one that folds up like this, and it's going to be kind of clunky to carry, but I'm going to sit out there all day for 3 days here. These turkeys are showing up anywhere from 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. to 6:30 at night. So
no kidding.
I got to wait them out. That's the way it's going to be.
Sometimes that's the best way to do it, man. Oh, I will say, I do have to give a shout out, and they're not a sponsor. They're not a paid, I get zero money for making this statement. So, my history with ground blinds, I suck at setting them up, and I destroy a good number of them. Yeah. So I destroyed one this year. It was a double bull. It's like one of the original double bull blinds they make. Primos owns them now, but it's a Primos double bull blind, but it's like from double bull. Well, I destroyed it trying to set it up. I'm like a caveman when I try to set those things up. I'm just like popping out hubs here and there. You
need to slow your roll.
Hey, you're right. I was going to say something, but you're right. You're 100% right. I even have video of it. Like it's wadded up under a tree. The hubs are sticking out everywhere. Poles are shot through fabric. Anyway, so I reach out and I've had a double bull fix this blind already once. And this was 8 or 9 years ago.
Did you send the blind to them or did they just send you parts?
No. I sent that blind into them and they sent it back. Well, one, they gave me a shipping label, sent it to them, and they had that blind back to me within 2 weeks, everything fixed. So I'm going to give them a shout out because that, to me, is really freaking impressive that Primos did not have to take over that lifetime contract that Double Bull had when I bought the blind. Man, they took care of it. And I didn't, this is just regular, this is regular Kevin Jarnagin from Mandeville, Louisiana, who doesn't know how to set up your blind. And you know what they put on top of it? Instructions on how to set it up. So
that's probably because they could see the parts that were broken. They're like, we know what this guy's doing.
Yep. He's just shoving hubs and shoving them into the air. But when I got it back, I was like, okay, I'm going to get this down. I'm going to set it up a couple of times. And it was easy. I looked at the directions. I was like, oh, okay, that's what I need to do. Toss it over my head, and it's up in 5 seconds. Freaking easy.
That's a great company. I've had double bull blinds since the early 2000s, and I have all of them still. They still function.
Yeah.
And the best blind that they've ever made. I know that this kind of this is the way it goes sometimes, but they quit making the one that I love the most. And I've actually looked into having one shipped down from Canada for $250 more than what the blind is worth because they're so nice. But
which one is it?
I tell you, it's the double bull. It's the deluxe.
Yeah.
and it's got the wide door on it. So on the corner of the blind, instead of a zipper, it folds down, and big guy like me can slide in there without knocking it over. But
yeah,
I do have the 360 surround view, which is cool. But
so that's another thing, man. I sent it out here, and anybody who's missing a blind in Oklahoma, you know how Oklahoma wind is. You set up a blind, and that wind's gonna blow it. If you don't lock it down, it's gonna blow it. And I ended up finding one on the side of the road. It's one of yours? No, someone else's. It's a cheap. I mean, it's one of the cheap like see-through ones, and I was like, well, man, there's an extra blind. I'm sure it'll end up blowing away, but I got an extra. But it didn't have, like, that's another thing. Man, write your name on stuff. Because I looked all over that blind, like, man, is there a name on it? I can return it. No name, nothing. And I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. But I got a blind.
Well, I think everything in the sport, you get what you pay for, and Double Bull has been a mainstay for me, and I get nothing from them. I have to pay for the blinds just like you do. Yeah. But the lifetime warranty thing is nice. I've broken a couple rods, and they just send you like 4 extra, and they're free. Yeah. You pay for shipping, and they send you extras so that you're prepared the next time it breaks, and that's been very handy. So I didn't bring them on this trip, but I generally will take the extra rods on a trip if I'm going to do a couple states, because the last thing you want is to have it broken. But there again, that might mean I have to go out and chase them and not sit in the blind. So which I like to do both. So well, it all has its place.
Yeah, you've got to adapt to the situation that you're given. I mean, that's what it accounts to. So
well, and this area I'm hunting here, Kevin, I would say I've got 2 years in on these Mississippi turkeys, and comparatively to the Alabama turkeys, those are the 2 hardest birds I've ever hunted. They're just they like to gobble some, but they're largely silent. They mostly don't like decoys. Now that's not a blanket statement. I've seen them attack some decoys, but all I'm going to take is a single feeding hen, and we're going to sit on the edge of a gas line and a power line cross, and there's a lot of tracks. I've got a camera there. There are birds there every day. They're inconsistent in their time, but I know that they're there, and I can't hunt beyond this very far. I've got a little less than 1,000 acres, maybe right at 1,000 acres. So that's plenty of land to hunt, but the birds don't just stay in one spot.
No,
so
they're moving.
My tactic here is going to be the first bird that I shoot, I can kill 2. The first one is going to be on film so that I can get that crossed off my list. I really want a Mississippi turkey on film, and if I'm able to get that done, we're going to pack everything up, go old school, and chase them down. So
that's great.
We'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, we're going to have to get I need a full report after you're done, and just give me a call. You don't have to swing by or anything.
Especially if I'm driving through your town.
Exactly.
Skipping down your street.
Jeez.
Dude, I know I'm not going to hear the end of that, and
you will. You will after we hang up and after we close out. It's done. The hazing is done.
I deserved it.
All right, Thomas Allen, man, I appreciate it, and good luck.
I appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for having me on again. If anybody's going turkey hunting, good luck. You can do it however you want to do it. That's the beauty of it. Enjoy it and have a lot of fun. I'm gonna.
It's however you want to do it, man. You just do it. All right, Gun Talk hunters, you know the drill. Keep those muzzles pointing in a safe direction and always be on the hunt.
To see all of Gun Talk's content, go to guntalk.com, guntalktv.com, or sign up for the Gun Talk newsletter.